Jonathan Turley, law professor and Fox News legal analyst, broke this down very well on X. He said Stormy Daniels is about to be called in New York, who sought to sell her story on Trump and receive payment for an NDA. It's not clear what she offers beyond salacious details to embarrass Trump. The NDA is not in dispute. What Turley is saying there is everyone acknowledges the existence of an NDA. The underlying reason for an NDA perhaps might be contested. Did they have an affair? Did they have a sexual relationship? I believe that Stormy Daniels already testified to that fact and got into some salacious details about the position of that relationship. But what she knows about the existence of an NBA, what she knows about the law, of the evidence, of proof, offers nothing to the trial. In fact, I wouldn't even submit to what Turley has submitted to, that the existence of an NDA is not in dispute. Because January 10th of 2018, Stormy Daniels wrote a letter, signed letter, read the following: "To whom it may concern, I recently became aware that certain news outlets are alleging that I had a sexual and/or romantic affair with Donald Trump many, many, many years ago. I am stating with complete clarity that this is absolutely false. My involvement with Donald Trump was limited to a few public appearances and nothing more. When I met Donald Trump, he was gracious, professional, and a complete gentleman to me and everyone in my presence. Rumors that I have received hush money from Donald Trump are completely false. If indeed I did have a relationship with Donald Trump, trust me, you wouldn't be reading about it in the news. You would be reading about it in my book. But in fact, the matter is, these stories are not true." Signed, Stormy Daniels. That letter, by the way, was backed up by a letter on January 30th of that same year, 2018, "To whom it may concern. Over the past few weeks, I've been asked countless times to comment on reports of an alleged sexual relationship I had with Donald Trump many, many, many years ago. The fact of the matter is that each party to this alleged affair denied its existence in 2006, 2011, 2016, 2017, and now again in 2018. I'm not denying this affair because I was paid, quote, hush money, as has been reported in overseas-owned tabloids. I'm denying this affair because it never happened. I will have no further comment on this matter. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram at the Stormy Daniels." Now, whether or not she wrote those letters in 2018, the veracity of which will be assumed, if those letters which bear her signature are true, she could theoretically recant that testimony. She might be doing it as we speak right now on the stand. Certainly, if she's testifying to positions of their sexual relationship, then she is saying they had something more than what she describes in this letter. But at a minimum, it shows that she is someone whose testimony is inconsistent. In the law, this is called impeaching the witness. You have said in deposition, or you have said in other forums, something opposite of what you're testifying here today. It indicts the credibility of the witness. Now, Judge Merchan has said that those letters should not be introduced to the jury or made public under the gag order of Donald Trump. This gag order, by the way, I don't understand at all the constitutionality of something like this gag order, threatening to jail Donald Trump now for what he has to say. I mean, if he jails Donald Trump, he might as well give him the presidential election. What an absurdity. I will fine you $9,000 for talking, and I will jail you for talking about really what is not really a legal case in the end, but a big political campaign ad. That's the point of all of this, whether or not this evidence adds up to a crime, whether or not there is a legal charge even of a crime. That's been hard to pin down. What exactly are you hoping to prove? And what exactly does Stormy Daniels offer you in pursuit of that proof? How does she inform us on the existence of a crime? She doesn't. She's just a character and a drama that is one big political ad. Turley goes on to explain in his post on X. He says, her testimony will not materially impact the evidence on whether the reimbursement to Cohen was correctly denoted on records. Ironically, even a porn star who sought to cash in on a scandal may be more credible than the serial perjurer disbarred Cohen. So what Turley is saying here is we can have the debate about whether or not they had a sexual relationship. We can have a debate about whether or not they had an affair. We can have conflicting testimony about both those things. But what Turley is saying is There doesn't seem to be any debate, no conflicting testimony about whether or not there was the existence of an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. That is relatively submitted to. Now, why the necessity of an NDA? That's back to the nature of their relationship. But the existence of an NDA, well, that's submitted. That's admitted. There's no crime, though, in creating an NDA. The crime would be, how was that NDA denoted, in Turley's words? How was it denoted in the books of Donald Trump? And Stormy Daniels offers us nothing on the bookkeeping records of Donald Trump. That will come down to Michael Cohen, as pointed out again by Turley. And that will come down to the testimony of a serial perjurer whose impeachment capabilities, whose inconsistent testimony is much greater than that of Stormy Daniels. It will come down to repetitive liar Michael Cohen against the testimony of Donald Trump. Now, that is all to presume, as the way I've laid it out to you. That is all to presume that this is a case about the law. This is about proof. This is about evidence. This is about charges. And this is about proof beyond a reasonable doubt under the banner of the law of the existence of a crime. But that's just not what it is. That's not the game. That's not what's being played. That's not the point of Stormy Daniels. The point of Stormy Daniels is to make you feel. Trials, for better or worse, are not about the facts. As we've talked about here on the Will Cain Show, we've had expert attorneys on here, countless, during jury selection. That trials are about people. They're about those people that sit in the jury box and how they feel and what attorneys can do to make them feel. Feelings, by the way, are constantly underestimated. Even in my life, at times, I've attempted to sort of overly rely on logic, to think of persuasion as a mathematical equation. Certainly that was, at least in some part, influenced by the fact that I did go to law school and was drawn to justice based upon the idea that it is almost a formulation, that it is cold, that it is removed from some of the most fallible aspects of humanity, which is emotion. But emotion is what makes us people. Otherwise, we would just be AI. We would be logic robots. Whether or not we'd be better or worse from that, the answer is worse. Because how we feel about things is how we interact with the world.